This is the moment when the supposedly dead killer comes back to life for one last scare. One last scare. One last scare.
Cam's gonna kill me when he sees this. Hi, and welcome to The Last Scare, a home for horror nerds who come together and gush about their favorite feel-good genre. I'm Jayla. I'm here with Blake today, and we're getting to talk about a series that Blake has been talking about a bunch, has been really trying to get me to watch, and I finally watched it. I binged it, and I'm really excited to get into it. There is one little bit of news before we jump right into it. Talk to me. Now officially named. We didn't get Mithrigan, but we are getting Talk to Me.
Yes.
I'm very excited. It's really cool because I feel like A24 is selective with their sequels and things of that nature.
Sequel?
I think the only other one is Pearl and Maxine. That's about it. So how do you think they're going to move forward is my question for you.
I think and hope they go with your idea and they make it an anthology.
Yes.
We had a spoiler stream, so I won't talk spoilers here, but given where the movie ended, I don't think continuing that particular story is necessary. I think there's a plethora of storylines that you can do if you just start from scratch, new characters and everything. And we're already getting a prequel to Talk to Me, so
yeah,
we'll already get an expansion on that story anyway. So start fresh is what I think.
I fully agree. I'm just getting a little tweet out. I still call it tweets. Don't judge me. I'm getting a little tweet out so everyone knows we're live.
Call them tweets.
They will always be tweets. But I fully agree. I don't think there's any room for a sequel with how perfectly they ended. They ended Talk to Me perfectly. It's going to really suck talking about this franchise. I already know.
Yeah.
It's going to really suck. But they ended it so well, even though at my theater, the lights came on the last 30 seconds. So that really kind of bummed me out.
That sucks.
Yeah, but hey, it happens. No issue. We move. But I do agree. I think my long-awaited anthology might finally happen.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers crossed. I've been saying this for like every other horror movie we talk about. I'm like, oh, but they could just do an anthology if they have a really good concept. So we'll see.
Anthologies are fun with horror, so it's always a win.
Yeah, they are, and I feel like studios are really scared of doing anthologies because they think people are dumb and are going to get confused.
Yeah. And they have PTSD from Halloween 3 season, where that idea did not work out very well for them.
That was an interesting. That's two of my favorite little pieces of horror history.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it, but I want to jump into From. We have 2 seasons to talk about, so
2 seasons,
2 whole seasons. It's so hard to know where to start because, there's so much going on, and it just kind of unravels. It's like the in Knives Out when he's talking about a donut and there's like a donut hole inside of that donut.
Inside a donut hole?
Yeah, it's like that, especially at season 2. I'll start with this. Which season did you prefer? I mean, yeah.
That is a hard question because, as you know, they're both good.
Yes.
God, that's such a hard question because
I know.
Season 2 really builds upon season 1, but with season 1, especially for a mystery horror show, it's so much fun to not know any of these people, who to trust, anything. And if we're getting into spoilers already, some characters don't return for season 2, which kind of hurts because there are some good characters that are missing or do show up in season 2, but not in the way that you'd want them to.
Sorry.
It's a trope, and I'm sure we'll get there, but I think season 2, honestly.
Okay.
I prefer season 2.
I see why you say that. And I do think we can get into spoilers because just the way that this all plays out, even what we talk about, the way it plays out is an experience.
You're either going to forget it, have no idea what we're saying, or it'll really get you to want to watch the show. So I am all for it.
I agree, and I want as many people watching this show. Season 3 has been greenlit. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I was nervous about that while I was watching this because I didn't look up anything. I went into this completely blind. I didn't know if we were getting a third season when I started this. I had no idea, and it just threw me for a loop because I thought this was going to be like just going off of the poster. I thought it was like a crime horror, like a crime mystery kind of thing, and set in like a city. So when I, started up and there's like a monster of some sort, there's this, like the monster scene. Hey, I know, I'm so sorry. We had some issues. My laptop decided to update, and you know how that goes. But I'm so glad that you stuck around with us. Thank you. But no, seriously,
we're late. We'll always show up at some point.
The party doesn't start till we walk in, literally. So. We'll try to be on time next time. Yeah, so I had no idea what was, like, when it started, I already had no idea what was going on. And then we cut to this family, and there's this, like, weird dimension thing going on where they're going in loops, and I was absolutely hooked going in, as soon as it started. But, let's start with the family. I have questions written down, but I do want to start with characters, because I have so many thoughts on some of these characters that, like, just really grind my gears, and it might not be the characters you expect.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna start with Jim. I don't know why. Like, it's just something about Jim that just irritates me as a character sometimes. Yeah, there's this sometimes he just becomes really irritating, and I don't know why.
That's funny. Jim's one of my favorite characters.
I don't know why. I think that, like, see, the thing is, I understand within the context of the story why he acts the way he does sometimes, why he makes certain choices, especially with his, like, conspiracy theory spiral in season 2.
I get what you're saying more so for season 2, because that's when he finds, like, a thread and keeps pulling on it, when several people that have been there much longer than him are like, stop it. Like, we've reached the end of that thread you're pulling on, and it's not good, so just leave it as it is. And he's like, but I'm getting answers. Answers that lead to way more questions.
Yeah, I think it was season 2 that really just kind of, like, made me go, come on, dude, like, I need you to be serious with yourself. I feel like a lot of characters in this are in, like, heavy denial, like with Sarah, for instance. I felt so bad for her because, like, listen, they're living in this impossible situation that just keeps presenting more impossible situations, but no one can possibly understand that perhaps maybe the city, the town, it's not a city, it's a town.
The town, yeah.
The village. The town is interfering with her or is influencing her. I found her character really, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Oh my gosh, she's just, I was really interested. I was really invested in her character. Mm-hmm. I felt really bad for her, Yeah. How do you feel about Sarah and her story arc?
I definitely felt bad for her because I think she already came into that town with an unfortunate situation, and I really don't even know what to call them, but the forces influencing this town definitely took advantage of that. And I don't know how, but either they sensed it or they just know everything about these people, which they probably do based on some of the stuff that happens in the show. But she is, even given the stuff that she's done, she is definitely a victim in this show. I'd say probably the most, because she's being constantly influenced by these things and tortured in so many ways that we can't even think of. So
yeah.
And I like Boyd.
He's my favorite. He's my dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So many people wanted to condemn her to the box, and he's just like, I don't think that's very fitting for her, which I agree with.
Absolutely. I think he's a great leader for the show. He makes the hard decisions where it counts, and it's in ways that I haven't seen in a lot of other shows. It's in ways, it's like the people that look up to him are going to be upset with him. And being a leader in this town, all these people that need to feel safe on some level, that's really tough to do. But overall, it helps. Like at the end of season 2, it shows that he was right, making sure that she was alive.
Yeah, he is a very human protagonist. Like, he can't do everything, and he does make mistakes. He buckles under the pressure, and people give him shit when he just doesn't want to make the hard choice. So I like seeing that. I don't like main characters that are just bulletproof or can solve anything on a whim. Like, he fails multiple times.
Yeah.
I love him for it.
Yeah, exactly. And he's definitely not bulletproof, unfortunately.
No, literally.
Okay, Victor. How do you feel about Victor?
Another one of the best characters on this show. I think right up there as being one of the most interesting. And just, God, that actor is so good. It's like you don't know if you should trust him. And then the further along you get in the show, you're just like, okay, you can trust him. It's just he's been here so long. It has changed him who he is, and in more ways than one, made him stay the same as when he first got here, which is such an interesting dynamic. And God, they can't afford to get rid of him on the show. Every time there's danger, I'm like, just where's Victor? You guys need him.
That's exactly it. Yeah, no, anytime something goes wrong, my man Victor, he shows up and he saves the day. It's
with his
great.
lunchbox and his drawings.
Yeah, I know. That actually kind of leads me to one of my favorite parts of season 1, and that was the build-up. It started with him digging these graves. The build-up and the dread. I felt a bunch of dread until the Colony House massacre. And I feel like the setup for that and the fallout of it was just so well done.
Mm-hmm. So many stupid people in this town. If I had $1 for every time they were like, look, there are monsters in this town, believe us or not, but there are monsters in this town, they're going to come up to the windows and ask you to open the door. All you have to do is not open the door. First time something knocks on that little window, and they look scary too. It's not like they can be easily tricked. They're just like, clearly they just want to come in, and they open the door. I'm like, okay, well, you deserved it.
I was so mad at this guy. I wrote down a long list of insults at him in my notes because it was like in the middle of the night, and I was like jogging down all my thoughts, and I was so mad at him because he was like, "Oh no, I'm lonely." I'm like, dude, listen,
no, that doesn't fly here.
You can't be that lonely when like you've seen what these monsters do to people. You cannot, no amount of loneliness, especially in the Colony House of all places, could possibly lead you to think that reasonably this one monster just definitely wants to come inside for a couple smooches. Like,
Yeah, he just wants to vibe.
Oh my gosh. I felt so bad for Trudy. I was really like, she was gonna give away her pillow. She had such a sweet moment, and man.
It's always once a character has like a really sweet moment or some really good character growth is when they're always going.
Oh, dude, that's why the wedding in season 2 scared. Well, the first wedding did go wrong.
Yes.
Poor Ellis. Ellis, for anyone who doesn't know, Ellis is the son of Boyd, the sheriff, the main character, I would say, of this series. There's a lot of characters, but I feel like Boyd, he's the main one in my eyes.
He's on the posters. It's him.
Yeah, this is his son. His son lives in a colony house where, like, when you enter in, just for context, when you enter in the city, you can't leave. You're just kind of stuck in this weird dimension place, and you can live in a town that's under Boyd's control, or you can live in the colony house, which is under Donna's control. And I love Donna. Very different vibes.
Donna is the best.
But I know. Good morning, Cam. Cam, who is in Alaska right now. Good to see you. I hope it's going well.
We miss you, Cam.
And we do miss you. But yeah, I love Donna. I love the really distinct differences between the town and colony house, but also that, like, Donna and Boyd are like they're buddies, they're pals. Boyd came into this when, like, it was in shambles. There was no organization whatsoever. And Donna was already there. Like, they kind of, like, went through it together. I just really like that there isn't a rivalry, except, like, the townsfolk are just stupid.
Yeah.
It was like, after the massacre, they're like, oh, they can't be in our town. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. People running amok.
I know they're like on a playground. Like, you can't play with my toys. It's stupid. You're a stupid colony person. Like,
Exactly.
There's bigger issues. There's bigger issues than small town beef, guys.
Yeah, it really is.
It is, and I do think that, like, the one thing I would say I hope the writers improve on going forward is, one, I just want people to communicate. I'm just begging people to share information with each other.
There are way too many secrets in this show, and the excuse is always like, we don't want people to worry. But at the same time, it's like, people are dying because you're not giving them certain information. So you start telling them, like, hey, all right, getting into more spoilers here, you successfully killed one of these things.
Right.
And you didn't tell anybody about that. And, like, sure, there's reason, like, you don't know how they could do it, but that's useful information. Maybe it'll help them not be so scared of the monsters, which I guess could hurt them in the long run too. So, but still, I think it's helpful information to give to the rest of them.
And another thing that comes to mind is with Sarah, and we're like, I just wish like Boyd just kind of sat everyone down. It's like, listen, guys, Sarah knows things about everyone. Like, she's
we're all
getting.
mad at her.
I understand. She's being fed information that she clearly has no way of knowing. This isn't like schizophrenia. This place is like communicating through her. Maybe
she's being used.
Yeah, like maybe we should like consider that. I kind of get it on Kenny's part. I do, but also,
Kenny is Boyd's second in command, his deputy.
Yes.
Another good character who was bothering me in season 2 quite a bit.
Yes.
He did not have the best storyline at all. I think he got too mad at Boyd, and he was weird with Christy. I have the characters pulled up because I haven't watched the show in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I wrote it down in my notes.
With Christy, he was, I think, unreasonably upset with her. Even if he didn't show it much, you could tell. Like, every time he was around her, there was this weird little divide between them, so I don't know. I was just like, dude, move on. He's got a girlfriend/wife. I forget.
Her fiance, and like, they were never even a thing.
Yeah, he wanted the potential there, and when he realized that couldn't happen, he was like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
and walked out. I'm like, Kenny, stop it.
I know. Please, because like the thing is, it kind of had like nice guy energy, if you know what I'm talking about there.
Yes, it did.
And I was like, dude, her like.
Yeah. He's like, I was always there for you. I kept you safe and stuff, without saying it. But it's just like, it doesn't mean she's gonna leave her fiance for you. Right,
and like her friend, Christy, who's like, she is the town doctor, for context. Christy goes to him and she's like, I need your help. Like, we've been in this together. I need your help. And he's like, we're not in this together. I'm like,
yeah, he was just howdy ever since
grow up.
Her fiance showed up at that town, which I thought was a great idea, and I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Somebody that they already knew from the outside world coming to the town after them. I think that was a really good idea. Yeah,
it makes me wonder. Are they? How are they connected? That's one thing that I was trying to figure out. I was very curious about if there's anything that they all have in common, which I'm sure people have already tried to figure that out. And it's not where they were driving, clearly, because it was all over the map.
Yeah.
But I wonder if there's like some, because like that's really good. That's the one I can't talk. That's the one thing I want answered. Is like if there's some kind of running theme, or like why does this place kind of like are drawing these people in? Because it felt so intentional that Christy's fiance shows up.
Yeah, I think it's a very specific reason that these people are all connected. Something that has to be a big reveal when it's all said and done. And they've given some indication. It's the character's own theories of like what's going on. It was the one of the new people from season 2, that really unstable guy that Jim really decided to get close to for some reason.
I don't know why.
I know. I was like, of all people you want to trust. But
You
okay,
would
and it
think
didn't
Jim.
work out. Jim doesn't think sometimes. He's a smart guy, but he doesn't think. He suggested that it could be like an experiment kind of thing, which I hope isn't solely the case, but I think he's on the right track. Just because we've seen that before. Like, I've seen government people, like, let's take a bunch of people, put them in a town, and put monsters or whatever. I'm like, it's just too easy. I want
It's too
something
easy.
a lot more, and I think it is a lot more because it's a very supernatural town. Clearly, Boyd's in some old dungeon 1 second, he steps outside, he's just in the middle of the woods. So it's like, okay, there's magic or something going on.
Yeah. I guess I'll throw out my theory real quick. Before getting to more like, specific episodes and things I like and didn't like or all that good stuff. One quick theory I have is that there is a repeating theme of like games, like a game. It's like a game being played, like a chess. I know that Kenny's father, who died early on, unfortunately, he was really good at chess. He was seen playing chess a few times, I think, even. Kenny was trying to make chess pieces. He referred to Sarah as a pawn, and there's a lot of references to like this entity or this place, whatever it is like play. It's like likes to play a game with them or something like that. Is a kind of the vibe I get. That doesn't really answer much, but that's kind of like where my mind is going.
Yeah, it's clues, I think.
Yeah, ooh, I like that one. Yeah. But my brain keeps short circuiting. I left my coffee on the table in my living room, so I'm just like malfunctioning, but it's cool. But no, it is clues for sure. I feel like this show is very intentional with the way they word things. It's very intentional with how things are playing out. I think it's really smart, and I really love seeing that too. It gives me like Lost feelings, a little bit of Lost.
It is the producers of Lost.
Well, there you go. I didn't even know.
I think like an episode or two after I started this, I was like, this is really well written, and there's like just so many questions, not enough answers from the producers of Lost. Okay, there we go. Now everything makes sense.
The Russo brothers too.
Yes, Russo brothers as well.
Which is really fascinating. I saw them pop up on my first watch. I was like, oh hey, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
If you look at their list of TV shows they've worked on, bangers.
I knew they had it in them.
Oh yeah, Community, Deadly Class from.
Gosh.
My favorite shows actually they've worked on.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so let's get into season 1 specifically because we kind of like cover things generally. Season 1 specifically. How do you feel about the way that things unfolded, and who is your MVP and LVP? Like your favorite this season, like someone that you're just like about.
So what I know, least valuable.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna change it if you ask me again for season 2, just to keep things interesting. But for season 1, easily Boyd. He was such a great character to kind of for the show to be like, here's a bunch of questions, monsters, threats, all this, and this is your main character that you're gonna follow the story with. And I think he was perfect. He's just like us. He's lost in this place. But he has enough together to the point that everyone feels comfortable with him being the leader. And it's still written brilliantly to the point that everything new to us is still new to him. Because it's things that are changing and they're just like, this hasn't happened here before. I wonder what's going on here. And it's like, okay, that works. They're as lost as we are. And it doesn't make the audience feel so isolated and out of the loop. Because I feel like once we're so disconnected from what the main characters know, we kind of want to check out. And don't want to get to the root of it when they're just like, oh yeah, we've seen these houses totally collapse in on themselves before, and it's just like, okay, it's kind of new to us. My least favorite character, I'm glad that's a hard question too, because there's so many good characters.
I know. It can be not like least favorite in the sense that they're poorly written. They could be like a character that they're so well written that you don't like them.
Yeah. Honestly, maybe Julie, who I still like, but put her at the bottom just because she simply just doesn't have much to do. They really don't give her too much to do. They scare the shit out of her constantly and have her run away. And that's about it. Her and Ethan, but Ethan is adorable and that actor is incredible. Just his relationship with Victor is so interesting, but it works. And he, for such a young kid in a show like this, he's never scared. And I'm glad we kind of confront that in season 2, where he's just like, I am scared. I know I have to be brave, because what's the point of being scared? It's not going to get us anywhere. And I'm like, you're like 6. How do you know that? So, he is a good character. I can't put him last.
Absolutely. Okay. So you got Boyd. I fully agree. You got Julie. Yeah, that's fair. But do you have a highlight, like a favorite episode or a favorite thing?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I do. I gotta go through all the episodes.
You're good. Or even
I have
like
the IMDb pulled up just for questions like these.
Yeah. Well, while you're looking that up, I will say that one of my favorite parts of this is very small, but seeing the arrival of of Boyd and seeing how quickly he jumped into action, and just really was such a great way to flesh out his character.
Yeah, his a few episodes in the show got me, but his origin in particular, you kind of have an idea going into it what happened, and then just seeing it play out, it's just so gut-wrenching.
My jaw hit the floor.
Yeah, it explains the divide between him and Ellis really well too. And I'm like, Ellis is being a dick to him, so something bad clearly had to have happened. And then you get to see what happened. It's like, okay, that's kind of fair. And it's like it's not a personal hatred with his dad. It's just like, I'm sure every time he thinks about what he did, it's just there's some resentment back there, and you can't really blame him for it.
Yeah, you really can't. And I definitely, I guessed it in my notes, but not the specific details. And when the actual event, which, we're getting into it, you kind of know within a few episodes what's going to happen. They ended up in this town with, it was Boyd, his wife Abby, and it was Ellis, their son. And the town certainly got to Abby, and it led to her death, and it led to basically Boyd having to kill her in front of their son, and that was really rough.
Yes, yeah, and it was even harder because she was going after the son. I believe she was she a cop, or was she in
Marine?
The Marines, yes.
The Marines.
Yeah, she had a gun going off on people, and the second she aimed that gun to Ellis, her son, Boyd quickly took out that gun and put her down, which I think that was the only person she could have put that gun to that would get him to just not think and pull that trigger.
Yeah.
Gives me chills just thinking about it.
His like, he cries out when he does it, and it's just so much emotion, like 2 seconds. It completely shocked me. But back to you. You did a little searchy search. Did you have like a highlight?
I did. Yes, I'm going to be basic and say episode 7, All Good Things. That was the Colony House Massacre. Very good one. And I want to throw out the pilot, because I don't think people realize how much pressure is on a pilot to a TV show. Like, that's what you will decide if I'm going to watch it or if I'm not. And I think the first episode sets up enough and gives you enough to the point where you're like, okay, I'm gonna check in, and I'm gonna come back to this show. And I even want to rewatch the show, maybe before season 3 comes out. Or hopefully we cover it again when that trailer drops, because when the trailer dropped for season 2, I was like, holy shit. They actually gave me the one thing I wanted going into season 2. I wanted more of the monsters. I wanted to know more about them, and season 2 was like, okay, we'll give you more of that. And apparently they said season 3 is going to be the scariest season yet. So that's honestly what I want from this show. So
interesting. Oh, wow. You kind of took a lot of my answers, really. I feel like no one made a copycat here. I'm looking at my notes now, but I really do feel like, the Colony House Murders, episode 7, Massacre, just the build up to it was just so well done. Because in the back of my head, it's actually funny, because in the back of my head, I'm always like, all right, he dug 6 graves. He said he was getting a head start. So 6 people are going to die this night. And then the next episode, Donna's like, 14 of my people died. And I was like, oh. It was more than 6.
It was more than 6.
Oh no. But yeah, so kind of like, I don't even know if that was intentional or I'm just I kind of set myself up for that, but like that kind of pulled the rug from under me, like how the scope of it.
Subvert expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, it was so much worse than it ended up being, and I think that's why it hit harder. Because if it was just like, oh my god, a lot of people died, but the fact that you're expecting 6, it's so much more emphasized. Like, oh no, that was a massacre. People didn't just die in that house; it was a full-blown massacre.
Yeah, because a dude wanted some smooches. I'm still mad about that. I'm like, seriously?
Was it worth it?
Like. It was like, oh, there's a house full of people, and the only person I want to talk to is you. I'm like, dude.
You know their whole gimmick is to say anything to get inside the house, right?
It was so upsetting. What an idiot. Just what a big dummy. I will say, I'll give you a highlight moment I had, and that was when at the end of season 1, the last episode, the very last bit, you have the tower going on. You have the radio actually like getting out, and you hear the creepiest voice.
Someone or something.
And talk to Jim. I don't know why I was thinking about Tim. Talks to Jim and like calls him out full name, and just like obviously they know they're somehow they're watching whatever this is or whoever, and at the very end you see a whole bus arrives, and just like my stomach dropped. I'm like, that's awful. That's a lot of people to get dropped in your lap at once.
Yeah.
Just like my mind, I immediately had to watch first episode of season 2 following that up, because just it's insane.
I'm envious that you got to jump right into season 2, because I watched as it was airing on TV. So when I got that finale, I was like, what do you mean somebody talked back and they know Jim and now more people are here and everything's just in the middle of being fucked? Like it was a good cliffhanger because you didn't feel cheated.
Yeah.
Like you got everything that season 1 set up, and they were just like, well, it's a TV show and we're not done, so we're going to flow right into season 2. And the season 2 premiere, I think, rivals the season 1 premiere. It just like, it doesn't have that charm of like, ooh, what's going on? Everything is new to me, but it still has that, oh shoot, I'm getting what I wanted, more monsters and more action with them.
Yeah, and things are getting more intense. You have the fiancé showing up. You have everyone like freaking out on this bus and having to explain to a whole bus full of people what's going on. And obviously some people are just not going to be going with it. Which
a lot of people don't go with it.
No.
Which, I mean, you can't blame them. Like, you want to get mad at them because we've been in it for a season, but at the same time, it's like, if that was you, you'd be like, okay, monsters, like, it's just too much, and they know that, but unfortunately they got there at a pretty rough time where they didn't really have time to walk them through it and take it easy and be like, just wait till you see tonight. We'll keep you in a safe place. But the sun was going down, and Donna got out that shotgun. She's like, get in the fucking colony house, you're all gonna die. And they're like, that's not helping.
Donna was like, I just want to like make sure that like they get inside, and just went 0 to 100. Boy is MIA currently, so he's not around to help out and kind of like put his energy into it. So it's Kenny. We had to rely on Kenny to do it.
We had to rely on Kenny. Boyd was going fucking through it in the dungeon.
Yeah, the dungeon. First of all,
there's a lot to unpack.
Oh my gosh, the show has so much going on. First of all, the fact that he was stuck in that tiny little hole, chimney, well, I don't know. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it so much. It made me feel so disgusting. And then the guy, I was expecting like a dude to be like, you know, actually
in his like living room or
something, but it's this like horrifically tortured old man, and then it's just adds so many more questions on top of the bus appearing, on top of the unanswered questions with the monsters, on top of everything else going on. The trees are moving, they can't leave. It's insane. We found out last season that there's more out there than just the monsters. There's like a giant, spider situation. You have the lighthouse.
Possibly. I was actually upset we didn't get to see a single giant spider.
We saw a lot of baby spiders, which made me deviant. Ugh, I hated that too.
Yeah, I hated that too. I hate spiders, but that's why I wanted to see them. I'm like, they're scare the shit out of me if they do that. And I know it would look great. The effects from the show are great because they use them sparingly, but
they do such a good job.
I nitpick. I wanted giant spiders.
I have to stop myself from nitpicking sometimes. It's just because like the show is so good that the few tiny things just really stick out. Mm-hmm. I feel like I kind of wish they would take more time.
Yeah. There are a few things that come and go. Like season 2, I think has a jump scare, I guess. But one of the things that scared me the most when what was that new kid's name that arrived in season 2?
I have it written down. Hang on.
Yeah,
Elgin.
Elgin, yeah. He was taking a bath because Julie told him that's how she relaxes. And I called it. I was watching it with my mom, and I was like, something's going to push him under the water. Because that's the horror movie trope. When someone's taking a bath and they're unaware of their surroundings, and he hears a music box and looks over and sees the music box that Boyd and all these people always see when shit goes wrong. And immediately gets pushed under the water. That didn't scare me. I expected it. And then you see his POV from under the water of this freaky thing and her little humming whistle, whatever. And it's just cut, episode over. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
The character design.
We never go back to that.
The character design of that was terrible. No, I fully agree. That was like a highlight of the horror in this. I really hope they do more of that. Because that was freaky.
Yeah, that threw me.
Yeah, that music box was the main villain of season 2.
It really was. It literally ended with a boss battle in season 2 where Boyd's just like, no.
You're done.
Yeah, no more. That song sucked.
It did suck. It was an awful song. Ooh, I'm so glad I thought about this. I'm so glad I wrote down this question. This has a lot of needle drops in it. These needle drops were shown are typically connected to the people that show up in this town. Sometimes it's even the song they were listening to when they did arrive. Do you have any thoughts on that? Any theories on that? Because I wrote down a lot of them. I was like, it just really stood out to me. That choice.
I don't, which frustrates me because I know for a fact it is intentional. These are the people that did Lost. And the way that this show remembers things that they set up in season 1 that comes to fruition in season 2, or something really minuscule that happens earlier in the season, they'll come back to and fully explain. And I'm like, oh, they for sure have this notepad with every little thing they set up and the answer to every little thing that they just set up. And I can't pinpoint that exactly. And I there are so many theories that come up that I have in this show, and I'm just like, oh, that's so minuscule. But I notice a connection there, and I know that's intentional. It's just, it's a good feeling to trust these writers of a show that you like so much. It's
so refreshing because, like, I feel like they're not just trying to, like, ooh, there's a mystery. Isn't it so cool? We have a mystery. That's just big old mystery that we have. Isn't that neat? They're actually, like, progression. There's actually, like, building on layers. They give us a few answers and, like, add on to it at the same time.
They are constantly and consistently answering questions. Even if they're small questions, every single episode, they are moving this mystery forward. And it's kind of easy to get lost in that, when you have such bigger questions, like what are the monsters? It's such a general thing, so they give you little increments of that, which I think is a really smart way of doing it, because I don't think we'll get the biggest answers to these questions till the show's like wrapping up, like the final season. I hope. Maybe they'll screw us like Lost. I don't know.
Oh, no, don't you say that to me. Dreaded says, From actually sounds really cool. And let me tell you, we haven't even been able to give you all of it. Like, there's so much going on.
We would need several hours to pick apart this show.
And it won't really even make sense or hit until you see it in context. I highly recommend it. I'm looking at my notes now. A lot of my notes are unhinged because I just don't know how to write good show notes yet.
Yeah.
It's really funny. I have to show you sometime. Anyways,
I would die to see your your notes.
a lot of it's like me getting frustrated or like questioning things.
Who's this asshole? Why did he just do that?
Pretty much. I'm like, what gear is it? Where is this going on? Blah, blah, blah. But that's another thing. Actually, I'm glad I looked at that. Came in handy. Someone suggested, I was looking at a few theories, I cheated a little bit, looked at a few theories. Someone suggested that possibly they're in a different time completely. Like, they somehow time traveled, which I find really interesting. Like, I don't know, it doesn't really answer everything, but it was like a shot from the pilot where they go across, it was like before they see the tree, or like after they see it, somehow, some way, they, go across the same train tracks or same area. It's the exact same shot in the RV, and like there's a clear difference. There's like a huge difference between where the trees are, the growth of the grass, all that stuff. I just found that really interesting.
I think it's true, and I mean you have evidence in the season 2 premiere where Boyd is in that kind of dungeon or whatever, and he steps out and it's run down. It is gone. So he stood where the dungeon or whatever you want to call it was alive and being used, and then immediately is into whatever present day is for them. Maybe it's not 2023, but whatever it is for them, he stood back out to. I think he literally time traveled within 2 steps. So
This show's so good.
It is good because it's like not far-fetched considering what the show is. You're just like, oh wow, that's crazy. It's just like you're kind of used to stuff like that at this point, and I think that's why the show works.
Yeah,
it doesn't make fun of any of these things either. They lean into it.
Yes, that's such a good point. I hope I'm not cutting you off too much. I'm like, yeah, this is so good.
No.
So many good points. Yes, I fully agree. And what I love the most, or love a ton, is that they're able to present you with these absolutely bizarre and easily campy ideas and situations in the wrong hands, and it sticks the landing.
It definitely sticks the land because you don't get a character like Boyd walk out and be like, well, that just happened. Or like, so I just time traveled. Or he comes back to the town, we got giant spiders. Like, it's nothing like that. He's just like, look, guys. Like, he sells it every time. You can't cheat your own story, because then I feel like in so many movies these days do it. I always talk about it. It's like, why do you want us to buy what you're setting up if you don't? Like, why do you feel the need to kind of poke fun at what you're setting up? It's like, just sell it. Like, lean into that.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed.
Do it with pride. I fully agree. I do love Boyd's growing frustration over the 2 seasons, because by the end of season 2, he's done. He's so done.
He's been done too.
He is cussing everything out. He's not even like gently leading into things. He's like, just no.
Yeah, I like how he dealt with that one asshole in, was it the finale or the episode? I think it was the finale. That one guy that got the gun.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Met
yeah.
Boyd out in the woods and shoots him in the shoulder, and Boyd was like, "You fucking just killed him."
You can't just shoot me.
Yeah, I was like, we're done with that. I thought he was gonna cause major damage, but I'm glad Boyd was just like, I got a lantern, like I'm doing stuff now, or he had a torch, whatever.
Yeah. That guy was really frustrating. Thank you. Dreadit says, alright, I'm gonna go. You guys are awesome and can't wait for next episode. Stick around. There might be a surprise coming tonight. Ooh. Ooh. Jeez. I feel like I haven't even touched on all the stuff I want to touch on, because I've been so excited to get into this. And like we keep going like on like side quests. Because it's just like, it's so great. But we gotta talk about Jade.
Yes.
We gotta talk about Jade. You start.
Okay, you're lagging a little bit. Okay, I have to refresh myself here a bit.
You're good.
You start me off. I feel like
I can start you off, sorry.
You're fresh.
No problem. My laptop isn't charging, so I'm gonna start you off. I'm gonna go plug my laptop in so it is charging. Jade, he was one of the he was in one of the 2 cars that pulled in on the same day, which is a rare occurrence. He is very high strung, to say the least. He thought that this was all a big escape room when he first got there. He sold his company for like $1 billion, trillion, however many dollars, and it's gone straight to his head. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
They never say this man's name on the show. Because I looked it up, and I'm like, that's him? Yeah, he's one of my favorite characters. I don't know what I thought his name was this entire time.
Jade. I'm going to grab my charger real quick. I thought the battery would last longer, and it didn't.
No, you're good.
Talk about Jade or something. I don't know.
Talk about Jade. Okay, thanks, Jayla. Putting it all on me. No, Jade is one of the most interesting characters, though. He, as Jayla said, he was in the midst. I think he sold his company. She's out. He just sold his company, and I believe he was in the midst of celebrating. So that was his personal journey. He was going from wherever he was in the world to wherever he was trying to go, and he didn't make his destination. He ended up in this town, which I don't know if we explained it, but whenever they end up in this town, they always pass this tree in the road, and then they try to circle back, and they just end up in the town, and it's a circle. They just end up in a loop. If they keep trying to leave the town, they just end up on the same path back to the town. And he is a very smart character, meaning he did not just kind of lie down and take the hits whenever the show presented some sort of threat to him. He wanted to get to the bottom of everything. He has several plot lines where he uncovers something, and like Jim pulls on that thread, but it's not something that really endangers anybody else. It's kind of particular.
I'm back.
Very good. I was just telling the people that Jade is unlike Jim. He pulls on threads that don't endanger everybody else. It's kind of personal to him, and he does share his information that he learns with anybody that'll listen to him. He gets Tabitha. He gets Jim's wife's help a lot. He goes to see Victor because he knows Victor holds the answers, and poor Jade has a lot of the scares in that first season. So many things come for him. Fucking Scarface from Batman traumatizes him a couple times in season 2.
Dude.
That was a scary dummy.
I know. It made me think of Dead Silence, too.
Oh, actually, yeah. Or Slappy from Goosebumps.
Yeah. Oh, Slappy. 100% Slappy. Geez. Jade is so much fun in this kind of like, dude, calm down. I understand why you're so stressed out. Anyone be like super stressed out reasonably.
He can be a dick, too.
I straight up, like, in my notes at some point in season 1, I just wrote, Jade's a prick.
He is a prick.
I was just like, calm down. But then you see the moment he has with, her name's blanking. I'm blanking on her name. Kenny's mom, where he talks about...
Yes. Very sweet lady.
That scene, like, I was just like... I wrote something like, Jade just really needs to calm down. And, like, a few moments later, he's having this, like, really, like, just touching human talk with this grieving woman, and about, like, the idea of leaving your loved ones behind. How, like, what the quote was, when we leave, we take them with us. And I was like, that's really good. All right.
Yeah, coming from you? You said that?
Yeah, I think it made me understand him more. I feel like he is someone who is just losing their mind because of the situation they're in, and it's making them really stressed. And they care about people, but also, like, they have a bit of an ego issue.
Yeah, that moment in particular kind of screamed a hurt man throughout a good portion of his life, and he's become very good at just rolling with the punches, where he's just like, people die, bad things happen, and he's been able to kind of conquer that throughout his entire life, and this is the first time in a long time where he can't. He doesn't have the answers, and he doesn't know how to solve anything that's going on here, but he is smart, and he knows how he can try to at least get to the bottom of it. So, and that keeps him from losing his mind. He stays busy. In season 1, he is clean cut, put together, everything. By season 2, his hair's all long, he's got a beard, and he's just like, I am gonna figure this out.
Yeah, he's very avoidant, kind of shut off from other people. Like, anytime someone wants to check up on him or, like, is concerned about him, he's like, nah, F you, get out, leave, I don't, go away.
Yeah.
Even when Victor just wants him to play the violin for him, which I feel like is something that was like a vulnerable thing for Jade. Something that's like a vulnerable moment was him playing when he was by himself or playing for someone. And he was like weirded out by it. He was like, I'm not going to play for you, but he does. And you have another really sweet moment where Victor takes him out to his mom's car. And you just kind of like, my heart broke because it just really showed even more depth to Victor. And
speaking of depth to Victor, you just reminded me.
Yes.
I think the one scene in the show that really got me was that reveal with who drew those pictures, where you think they're Victor because you see him coloring all the time, and he takes Tabitha out there with him, where he hid all of his pictures, and he hid them because he doesn't want to remember anything about what he drew or whatever. And when he opens that trunk and sees them, he just goes on his knees, and you see his flashback, but the camera pans and it's to a little girl now. And he's just like, I had a sister and lost her when she was there all this time. He just tried to forget that, and that killed me. And Victor, he's just one of those characters you just always want to hug.
I want to protect him.
Yeah, Victor, he is one of the best.
Anytime, we were talking about, MVPs and LVPs and all that, and I'm going to go ahead and put Victor as my MVP for season 1, because, obviously, there's a lot of trauma. He's gone through a lot of trauma, but what I love about this show, what I adore about this show, is he's not dumb.
No.
He's not dumb. He is well aware of his surroundings. He's well aware of situations. He has actually more knowledge of situations than people might first assume.
Yeah, and a lot of people at the town don't know it because I'm sure they don't really have the outlook that we do, but it's not intelligence with him, it's behavior.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting, he got here when he was a little kid. So being in this town for so long, he's learned to adapt, but he still keeps that same kind of mentality and behavior across his entire life, which has literally concocted a great character and a really interesting story with him.
Absolutely. I feel like a huge, and this is another early reveal in the show, I feel like a huge part of that, of the stagnation, I guess, is everyone died. He was all alone. Like, when he was a kid, everyone died, and he was there by himself as a kid, and so he had no way to develop socially or behaviorally
for a while,
and it's just insane. And what makes me wonder, there's so much, obviously he wants to forget, doesn't want to talk about. I completely understand. It makes me wonder, what has he learned about this place over those years? Because I think he has a good lead on ahead of everyone else as far as how it works, the method to the madness, if you will.
Oh yeah, he found out the trees are portals. For one thing,
that's a whole other thing.
What's scary is I'm pretty sure he has uncovered a lot of horrifying things about that place that he drew, put in that car, and left it, and totally forgot about all that, which could come to help them should they unravel that someday. But at the same time, maybe it's nothing that would necessarily help them. It's just stuff he doesn't want to know that's going on or whatever.
Yeah, 100%.
Haunting.
Yeah, he knows how to navigate the woods. He was able to go straight to the bottle tree, and oh my gosh, the bottle tree. That's a whole other. What if Boy just would have went a little bit closer? What if he just would have what if they just wanted to just look a little bit closer? They were so close to going into that special faraway tree.
Yes. Faraway tree.
Listen, I'm struggling. Let's get to season 2. Let's kind of I think we got a good idea of how we are with season 1. Season 2, as we said, it's a lot. I'm a broken record saying it's a lot. I just finished the series here last night, and this morning actually. I watched the last episode of season 2 this morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. So
we'll get to that finale.
I'm still processing so much of this. So I'll start my MVP and my LVP and all the good stuff in the middle. I want to say Victor again. I really do. But it's so hard. It really is hard for me. I kind of want to say Boyd, especially this season. I kind of want to say, as a few reasons, I want to say Christy, because I feel like she's just been there when things got really tough. Donna's also really great this season. She kind of shines a little bit for me this season. But, I'm just going to say Victor again. I don't care if I repeat myself.
Yeah.
Victor's my MVP, both times around. Boyd is very, very close behind, don't get me wrong, but I just am so invested and interested in Victor and learning more about him, and just, I don't know, he's such a great character. LVP, Jim.
Jim, the Jim slander.
Listen, I was just really frustrated with him throughout this, because he was just like, oh, like anytime someone's trying to where they were upset or they were stressed or they were trying to vent, he was never trying to work towards a solution or comfort them. He was just like, they want this. I'm like, if they do, you're not helping.
That is true.
You're not helping if that's your angle that in a way, when you first started talking about this, in a way I was like, I could see the forces around this place wanting to tear people down and wanting them to fight and wanting to deplete them that way. But he took it and no. There's an actual person. There's actual people, and they're just experimenting on us. And just
yeah.
He had me at first. He completely lost me, just 100%. And it's really frustrating because I see this family, and I feel like his daughter really needs a lot of help right now. I feel like she needs a lot of support right now, especially after she thought he died. Yeah. And that she lost her mom, and he did not even need to be down there when the house started crumbling down, because theoretically, if she's already down there and the house is falling down, you might put your kids at risk of losing both their parents. Yeah. And he got 2 people killed.
That was an irritating moment too, because that guy just wouldn't stop screaming. I'm like, you're going. They're gonna hear you.
Listen, I have it. I wrote this specifically in my notes. I said Brick is too dumb of a name to live. He was not gonna live. They didn't name a character Brick for him to live. Brick.
Pretty accurate. I'll give you that.
Which I felt bad, because he seemed interesting. He did. He signed up right away, and I did feel bad that we lost Brick and we got left with the douchiest guy.
Yeah.
The most, I'm just gonna look for a fight guy. I forgot his name. I don't think I wrote down his name.
That guy.
He was so frustrating. They're telling you how this works. They're explaining this to you, and you just want to be a bully. You just want to be a jerk about it. Mm-hmm. You're not cool. There's no cool contest you're gonna win here.
He had something to prove.
Actually, no. That guy got an LVP. What am I thinking? Not Jim. It's him. It's 100% him. 1,000%.
He was only an asshole and had no redeeming qualities. So.
Yeah. I think I'm just disappointed in Jim.
You are disappointed in Jim, and that's how I feel about my LVP, but we'll get there.
Oh, okay. I'm very interested. I will say a highlight. I'm just going to wrap up my highlights, and we'll get to yours. I have so many highlights. When Ellis gets stabbed is one of them, because there's so many things building on top of each other. You have Boyd, and no one's believing him in this really crazy situations he's dealing with. They all think he's about to have Alzheimer's, and he's like, no, I actually did this. Why don't you believe me? We live in a town with scary night demons. Please, I'm begging you.
Yeah, nothing's far-fetched.
Yeah, you have that. You have I need to stop calling her Christie's fiance, Mari?
Oh god.
Something? Mari? I'm bad with names.
I don't even remember.
Mari.
Yeah, it is Mari. Wow.
Got it. Mari.
Nice.
The reveal of Mari was actually on her way to rehab, and they were given liquid morphine.
Mm-hmm.
That was stressful. Had Euphoria flashbacks for a second.
Yeah.
Oof. Then you had Ellis is stabbed, and he's losing a lot of blood. Clearly, his lungs are filling with blood, and it's not good. They were supposed to get married, and of course, that guy, he always starts trouble in the colony house.
He does. And
always.
I knew that was going to happen the second he was waving that knife around.
Yeah.
Alice was trying to break it up. I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen here.
It is like the first time someone's been injured because another person just wasn't being careful with a knife. Like, hey, maybe we shouldn't just be willy-nilly with sharp objects, please.
I think the conflict that they wrote themselves into in that particular episode was one of the smartest things this show did, because for several episodes we have known Boyd to have worms in his blood, and he keeps seeing all these things, and it's not good. He's not in a good state, and his son is losing a lot of blood, and they're like, okay, Boyd, we got to get it. And then he thinks about it, and he's like, oh, fuck, I can't do that. I can't put this blood into my son. And they're just like, there's no worms in your blood, you crazy old man. Just to save your son's life. And he's just like, no. And he had an idea, and he got the worms out of his blood and found a way to kill the monsters and give blood to his son. Just everything rolled into one another, where I was like, this was a great episode.
It played out so well.
Jerome from Gotham that they killed.
Yeah.
He looked 100% like Jerome from season
I at first, when we first see him, because he's a reoccurring monster, I was like,
he's like the leader for some reason.
Yeah, I thought it was him at first, and I realized quickly it wasn't. But first glance, I was pretty sold.
Yes, I told Sabrina to watch the trailer because he's in it, and she's just like, oh my god, am I right? 100%, same sweater, everything. But yeah, they managed to take him out, which is kind of unfortunate because I liked seeing his creepy smile every episode. But
I like this game. Well,
yeah, little creep.
Oh yeah, they are little creeps. They're like more subdued Deadites.
Yes, they are, because they walk and they don't scream and laugh at you. They're just very warm.
Very
that's
petty.
What makes them scary. They're just like, hey, don't you want to hang out with me? She's like, ew, no, I don't.
Yeah, or when how do you pronounce her name? Ellis's lady.
Fatima.
I loved her character so much. She isn't too involved with the mystery stuff, but she's just so warm and just so such a great character. It really sucks seeing how she just jumps right into saving people, jumps right into helping people, doesn't even give it a second thought, and see how that just destroys her 100%.
Because you can't help people that aren't helping themselves, and she doesn't really believe in that. So when Ellis holds her back from opening a door, from letting this person not get devoured by monsters that are 2 feet away, it hurts.
Yeah. She kind of just snapped, which I would snap. She's been through a lot.
She has been, and it's just gonna keep going for her.
Yeah, with the massacre and her saving Ellis, and her not even knowing if that was gonna work. Her not even knowing if he was alive until the very last minute. Then you had the whole thing in the premiere, and then you had Ellis being stabbed and bleeding out right in front of her. Just like
and then her latest predicament. Or I guess not a predicament yet, but...
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I called it. I was like, she's acting really weird. She's being really... This is not about marriage. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, I called it. I really hope they don't get... They don't make that another trauma. That would be extremely upsetting.
Knowing this show, I'm so 50-50 on it, because the show isn't torture. The bad things that happen, it's still monsters at the end of the day. It's not just making these poor people suffer day in and day out, except for, I guess, Sarah, the poor thing. She kind of gets the boot of it, but I don't know if they'd go that far. If they go that far, or it ends up being kind kind of a happy resolution for her. Maybe it'll be the first good bone this town throws at them. Who knows?
It feels like it'd be going too far almost.
It would be going too far, and so far it seems like the first literal miracle to happen at this town, given her circumstances. So we'll see.
I don't want the writers to do this to me or my heart, so don't do this. I'm not trying.
You're thinking of.
Don't do this thing. But if it was a monkey paw situation, we would lose Ellis, and that'd be the one piece of Ellis that she still had. But I don't want that. That's not fun.
Yeah.
That's still really, really sad. Don't do it.
Yeah. I don't think they will do that negative outcome that we're thinking of, but it could also still be a monkey's paw situation in ways, if you want to hear the theory, if we're getting into
Go ahead. No, we're good. Yeah. You speak freely. Give me your theory. Please do. This is a lot of fun.
It is fun. Fatima is pregnant, so we're worried that might be taken from her because, as she explained, in the real world, she couldn't give birth. Right? That's what they told her.
Yes.
And now she's pregnant. So she was kind of freaked out about that, and Donna, being the trooper that she is like, we don't get miracles or good things here, so please just roll with it. Like, just be happy. Don't worry about what could be because you're pregnant right now. And that's the only fact. So just be happy. And I do think she'll give birth in season 3. But what she gives birth to might be the monkey's paw situation. So,
that would also make me really upset.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it'll be taken from her. I think she might bring something interesting, and I also think that's just more of an interesting story to go with than just like you thought, and it's just like that's just cruel. Like, what does that add?
Maybe she brings something good into it. Maybe it was Kenny talking to Christy, and he said you can't see you can't understand the sweater when you're just a thread or something like that, or I forgot the actual quote. I should have written it down. But the point is, he was like, maybe what we do now, what we do here, allows the next people to get out, even if we don't.
Yeah.
That
is a good idea.
So maybe it's something like that. But I'm really excited to hear about your MVP and your LVP and your highlight season 2.
God, my MVP, I'm going to steal yours and say Victor.
Yeah, Victor Support Club.
I think Victor had the best moments and storyline in this season. And my LVP, I think I'm not going to change my answer, and I am going to say Kenny, because I really liked Kenny in season 1, and then in season 2, he just really bothered me, and I was disappointed in the kid, honestly.
Yeah.
He was too mad about certain things. He treated some people way too aggressively. He literally told Sarah to kill herself.
I know, and she almost did.
She almost did, and I'm like, you can't, I get why he's so mad at her in particular, but he also has to listen to what Boyd's saying, that she was being used and manipulated into doing certain things. So yeah, I think a lot of stuff that he said to her was unfair. Because she did seem remorseful. She doesn't seem like a cold person. Like, yeah, I killed your dad, so what? And never once said that. She said sorry and had tears in her eyes every time she'd look at him. And he still said that to her, so...
It made me so mad.
Angry, but he went way too far.
I was so mad at him. Because even Dummy Dumbhead this season, Jim, took one look at her. I was like, no, that's a broken kid.
Yeah.
He knew, and if Kenny is supposed to be sheriff, hypothetically one day, if Boyd can't get them out on time, which he will.
In season 1, I would have told you yes. Someday he'll take over for Boyd, but after season 2, I'm like, I wouldn't trust him as the leader of this town.
No. It would go so wrong so quickly because I feel like he hasn't learned how to kind of step back from situation for a moment and really look at it.
Yeah, think not just about yourself, but about the bigger picture. Because he was just focusing on what she did that affected him, but not what was Boyd saying? Why did he take her out into the woods? Why did he say, like, just hear her out or whatever? She could be the key to all this.
And also, like, she acts. People are like, "You murdered your brother." I'm like, she didn't mean to murder her. You guys.
That was a genuine accident.
It was a genuine accident that made me so mad when she showed up to that jerk face's house and she just wanted her brother's jacket and like, not your jacket anymore. Get out, me. Like,
yeah, it's like that was a public thing too. We all saw that she accidentally did that to him. Doesn't make it right, but like it wasn't a malicious act that she did.
And like, I understand you have to be really picky with your belongings, but like, get a different jacket.
Yeah.
Get a different jacket.
People can be dicks.
A lot of people, like, we don't really focus on like the random townspeople, but I feel like anytime we run into like a random townsfolk person we haven't seen before, isn't like a main character, they're just a jerk. Like, this place has turned them into jerks.
Or they're just helpless.
That's why I would pick Colony House. I would not. I trust being with Boyd, 100%. But living in that situation, Colony House. They're like work together. Wild idea.
Yeah, I know. They got their shit together up there, and I blame Donna for that.
Donna is underappreciated. She is so great, and I love that she puts her foot down when necessary.
Yeah, she's the kind of leader that you need.
She is, and she's just wonderful. But do you have any theories, anything else that we should touch on? If I haven't gotten on it.
Everything I have is related to those final 5 minutes.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, let's do it.
So we can do that and lead into some season 3 wish list / predictions. Yes.
I'm so excited. Yes.
Since it's probably more fresh in your mind, give a brief synopsis, a play-by-play of the last, how season 2 ends.
So, So season 2, we've defeated the music box, final boss of the season. We've defeated it. Music box is out of here. No more worries. But everyone was still trying to solve this at the same time. So we have Tabitha, Julie's mama. Julie's mom, who is just like, she's been having visions of going to tower, and then she's led to believe, thanks to Victor's explanation of what his mom went through, that she releases these little ghost kids, from this tower, she'll save everyone. So she thinks that's what she has to do for Julie, so she's off. She's off on that venture.
She was haunted by these little creepy children the whole season, and at one point she's like, maybe they're not trying to scare me.
Yes.
Maybe they're leading me somewhere. So let's see where that goes. Yeah,
exactly. So she goes to Jim. She's like, listen, I need to try this. I have to try this. And he's like, well, I had a theory. Almost got me killed. I'm like, it's like, no, I'm doing it.
And Victor's mom tried this and never came back.
No, Victor's mom attempted this. She died, but I think it was his sister went after her, and he never found his sister.
Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot.
There's a lot
in particular, but Tabitha.
Yes, Tabitha. Anyways, so Tabitha is led to this beautiful tree that has a bunch of glass bottles hanging, and they walk around, and it's revealed that it is a faraway tree. Faraway trees will transport you somewhere, anywhere. You're just not really sure where. Except this is a special one. This one is supposed to lead you directly to this tower, which is a lighthouse. Tabitha walks in, and she is going up a spiral, the spiral that she had dreams about. She gets to the very top, she turns around, there's a small young boy in white who says to her, I'm sorry, but this is the only way, and he pushes her through the glass, and she falls. But she wakes up in a hospital, and it is revealed that she's in the real world once again. She's back. She returned. She got away from Fromville.
That's a good one.
And now she solved the mystery, kind of, sort of, but her family's still stuck.
She escaped. She escaped the escape room, but she didn't solve all the puzzles.
Exactly. She just kind of took a shortcut.
She did.
I just like I was just kind of like I was awestruck, you know. It was at first like they're playing a trick on her. She's not really. really.
I really thought the doctors were gonna like once they helped her go out of the room, take off the mask, with like crazy teeth or whatever or something. I'm so glad that wasn't the case. Like
I
every
know.
little thing that came up, I didn't like. I was like, don't do this, please. There's so many things in my head I don't want you to do.
Yeah, I'm so glad they didn't do that. I'm really glad they didn't do like a she's in a coma where it's like 1408 where he like wakes up from almost drowning. Like she like wakes up from the car wreck and like blah blah blah. Glad I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she actually woke up and they said to her a couple days ago some hikers found you just off off the trail unconscious. What the heck?
Yeah, because that just leads you to believe like, okay, did she end up back where they were driving before they entered whatever little barrier kind of brings them into from? Did she still end up in the woods, but in present day? Or the past, whatever year they're in?
Yeah, that's one thing I feel like feel pretty strong about is maybe that like she kind of like broke through some kind of barrier and it's a same location, different time maybe?
Yeah.
Different dimension, I don't know.
Gotta be a different dimension.
Different dimension, yeah, it has to, because the thing is, and maybe it's a little bit of both, because it wasn't until season 2 that the seasons in that world start to change, and phones don't work, and the wires don't have anything in them. The wires are fake outs. The plugs don't work. There's no actual electricity going on. So
all artificial.
It's all artificial, and then just leads you to ask, like, what built this? How is this even happening? Is this like, are people's like imaginations or what they dream of or what they think of part of building this place? Are people like manifestations part of this place and how it's built? Or their wants and desires and fears, does that go into what's built? I have no idea. But Tabitha got out.
She got out.
There's a way out.
There is a way out, and my biggest hope for season 3 is that they kind of tackle a simultaneous Tabitha working to continue finding her family in the real world,
yeah,
versus what's going on in that town, which I think is a dynamic that would work perfectly with this show, something we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's going to be really cool to see both sides of the coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want season 3. Do you think that she might find Victor's sister?
Oh, I definitely think so.
I'm so excited about that because
so they set that up, and I'm like, she's gonna come back.
It's real. I feel like it's really important that she has someone to go to that will immediately trust her, because I don't want to spend half the season of this like, oh, you're crazy, blah blah blah. I can't do that. I need someone that's like, oh yeah, I know, got it. All right, let's go forward.
Mm-hmm. I can see that being in the premiere for season 3. She brings this to so many people, and she's told she's crazy countless times, and comes across, a woman, Victor, because you came from that little area, and she's just like, Victor, yes, someone that knows people in there. And I mean, maybe the sister's been doing the same thing Tabitha's gonna do, trying to figure out how to go back to that. So
there has to be. What's that? Go ahead.
The sister's probably gonna be as old as Victor.
Yeah, unless time operates differently.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one thing I've wondered, if like how does time progress? Because Victor's obviously gotten older, clearly.
Yeah.
But how do things progress, and how what different effects on people here versus the outside world? I don't know.
Are there lingering effects when you get out?
That's another good question. I feel like there's also a possibility that maybe one or two other people have gotten out. Mm-hmm. Because if someone goes into the woods and they disappear into the woods, people are going, oh yeah,
they died.
Jimmy got eaten. Rip.
Yeah.
And especially in the times where people were just, before Boyd, who is a king. By the way, mad props to Mr. Fish and Loaves here that really lived up to his name, because he saw a situation, fix it. He's like, listen, this is, you do way better. Hang on. Exactly. And he built the town. He built the town, because they were just hiding on the ground every night, hoping for the best. Mm-hmm. And anyways, so if we go back to that time, I'm sure a lot of people like would explore more, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I feel like Boyd might have been the first, but still, I think it's still a good chance that other people escaped. Is my whole tangents point.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and I think if that is the case, then that can be our cast of characters in the real world with Tabitha. I mean, there's so much potential with that. That's why it's such a good idea. She could have an entire posse of people that have escaped Fromville, trying to get their loved ones back.
It's so brilliant. I'm so glad they did that, because it could be one of my concerns, and I wasn't worried as far as like I've already see it happening, but I was worried going forward was it getting dull as far as like where they are, the setting, the situation, the threats they deal with. I was very worried that it would just get really dull. So having another layer of the dynamic and having someone actually escape and kind of like have it from another angle is so cool and keeps it fresh. I still think the series should be like 4 seasons max, personally.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this isn't a 11 season long kind of epic. It is. They have a story, and I'm sure they already have the ending in mind. It's just 3, 4, no more than 5 for sure, kind of a show. So,
if they do 5, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah, no, I hope 3 isn't the last, but I think 4 would be the sweet spot.
4 is a very, very comfortable number for me, as far as, because, you know, you have the season with Tabitha on the other end and working on that. You have the little layers and starting to, the last few layers starting to unravel from especially with Jade finally figuring out that stupid symbol he could not figure out for forever. Him and like, where's Victor? Just to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. And I loved when Kenny's mom was like, stop complaining. Just stop.
Oh, she put so many people in her place. It was amazing.
So great. So just shut up and eat. And one thing that made me like his character a lot, endearing, that's the word I was looking for earlier, is like, I get him way more. It's like, he listens. He snaps out of it. Mm-hmm. He like listens to her immediately. So he's not like this like all out bad guy. He just has a really tough and annoying exterior, but it's okay.
For lack of a better term, he needs a reality check sometimes.
He does. A lot of times.
A lot of times.
But I really love that character. Anyways, because you have him, he finally found the source of the symbol. We have Boyd. Oh no, he really didn't do. He kind of did the big thing with the torch and the.
He destroyed the villain.
He destroyed the villain, so it's really going through and fleshing out the tunnels, because no one's told anyone else that hey guys, under our houses is where all the demon people sleep. So could they seal it off? You think they could just like block it off?
I definitely think they could. They could figure something out. I know nobody has tried to kill them in their sleep because they didn't know how to kill them, but now they do.
What if they tried fire in their sleep? I feel like anytime I see a monster design that looks like those, I immediately go, fire.
Fire should work, but at the same time, I feel like anything they could have come up with in that town, they've tried, which is why they're like, they can't be killed. You figured something out.
I think whenever they're in human form, that's when they're like at their most powerful and they're indestructible. But when they're sleeping and they're in their monster form, they don't have the mask on. That's when they're weak.
Right. That would be a good idea. They seem especially vulnerable when they're in their little caves and they're all bunched up.
Yeah, or maybe like on top of that, maybe like not like quite vampires, as in like the sun won't kill them, but the moon gives them more powers, like opposite of Superman kind of thing.
Maybe they can't be simply shot in the daytime.
Yeah, maybe they're like a bit more weak in the daytime. Oh, I could theorize on this all day.
Right? It's just one of those shows.
It's so good. I really hope that that we can get. Sabrina hasn't seen it. I hope we get Sabrina to see it. I hope we get Cam to see it. I'm obsessed. Do you have any other theories? Any other tidbits?
I think we ran through it.
Oh my goodness, we actually made it. Yeah, I think I've covered all my theories. I'm sure I'll like come up with another one and text you guys.
We gotta do another stream right before season 3 comes out.
Yeah.
So we can revisit this.
Do we? We didn't do the season 3 wishes.
Yes.
First, do we know when season 3 is going to be? Well, actually, there's a writer's strike going on right now. Never mind.
Is a writer's strike. I don't believe they've started filming yet because it got leaked like around the time episode 3 of season 2 came out that someone at what is it now? MGM Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It was Epix. People knew Epix, but new name now. Said that they want to do a season 3. They just haven't announced it yet. And I think right after the finale, they were like, season 3, it's confirmed. We're going to do that. So if it's not already completely written, I'm sure it's very close. So hopefully when these strikes are settled, maybe tomorrow. They're going to meet tomorrow. If nobody knew that.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully they can get filming back on track within the next couple months.
That would be wonderful. Blake, what are your season 3 wishes?
Season 3 wishes. My biggest wish is I really want to see Tabitha in the real world a lot. I don't want that to just be like something in the background. I want it to be simultaneous with what's going on in Fromville and then the real world. I want to see Victor's sister. Like, I want people to believe her. I hate that trope in horror movies or just movies in general where we know the main character's right and they're just told they're crazy over and over. It's like, that's just, do it once and then stop doing it, because it's so irritating. And the show's smart, so I don't think they'd do that, but it's a worry. I definitely want more of the monsters. I'm sure it's hard because they look so good and they can't show them in every episode, but I do want more of them, and I just want the show to get scarier. It's already scary enough, but I'm a horror fan.
Yeah.
And the mystery is up here and the horror is like here. So I kind of want it to match a little bit. And just make the mystery even scarier. The more they come up with the answers, it's just like, oh shit, so that's what's going on here. They're just something.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Hardcore, especially on let's just skip you're crazy, blah, blah. Completely skip it. Yeah. It doesn't add anything to it. It doesn't
single thing.
It doesn't add tension. It just makes me frustrated, which does bring me to one thing I really, really hope for and cross my fingers for. I want them to take more time with letting tension build.
Yeah.
There is one scene, the thing that made me think about this, there's a scene in the first season when Sarah is first going to, like, try to kill Ethan, and she sits down on this like little old this old merry-go-round, and the camera is like stationary and they start going around, and like that I was like, I'm wanting to stay on that shot, but they cut away to a different situation, a different scenario. But if they would have just cut on that shot, didn't have any music of them just like talking back and forth when you know that she has a scalpel and she is going to try and kill this kid, I feel like that would have been beautiful tension building and a really great way to do it. But I think they shoot themselves in the foot by cutting away to different characters, different scenes too soon. A lot.
Yeah, they have a lot going on, and it's tough sometimes because I'm like, that's really interesting. I know there's like 3 other plots going on and we won't get back to that one for like another 15 minutes. So yeah, pacing, and the pacing isn't bad, but I think it is something they need to work on. Yeah,
and I fully believe that making a show is hard. Making sure you cover everything's hard, and they do it so well. But I don't know how to. Listen, I am not the person that gives a solution on this, but I do feel like a few times just kind of slowing down a bit, or maybe even like making bigger chunks and spreading them out differently amongst the episodes might be beneficial. Again, I'm not a pro. I just see all this potential, and that one shot really stood out to me as being a gorgeous shot that I wish they just kind of held on to just a little bit longer to kind of like let the build. And that's like my one real complaint about the show too. That's and people communicate. Just tell like there's so many times where someone gets mad at someone else and they just like run away, and I was like, just like listen. I need you guys to talk to each other because I know it's frustrating and scary, but like this is a really weird scenario, and it's you never know what to expect. Just talk to each other, but also that they'd be perfect characters who did that.
Exactly.
You know, so
survive a lot more.
Yeah, but a little bit of communication, at least for big information, things that's easy to share. That'd be nice. But those are my two, and those are like nitpicky for me. Those are like not even huge things you notice during the show. That's just something that stood out because the show's so good that I have these little nitpicks. But outside of that, I want to definitely, as you said, see Tabitha in the real world and kind of like, I'm very interested in seeing what she can add into a solution, or maybe she can figure out the way to get in or send messages back. Who knows? All that's really, really interesting. I'm also hoping to see a little bit more characters more invested in the mystery solving thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We just kind of have our usual suspects, the core characters. Kind of want to see some of the townspeople get involved.
Yeah. Like the Colony House. I'm sure, like...
Yeah.
Especially. I love the Colony House. I feel like they can be a bit more involved. I want to see townspeople be nice.
Yeah. Just
be reasonable.
Not that much to ask.
Of course not. Outside of that, Victor keep doing his thing. I would like to expand on his backstory. Mm-hmm. That's my big wish. Expand on his backstory. And
what has he uncovered that we don't know yet?
Yeah, what things has he uncovered, especially the years that he was by himself. That night that his mom told him to hide and it's like everyone was dead. That's another big one. Mm-hmm. I think those are my couple big ones. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Oh, yeah. I want to know more about like the connections between the first time the two cars arrived on the same day and the time that we've seen, because Victor's only seen it twice, and he said that similar things happen around those times.
Yeah.
So that, and why are the trees moving? Okay, I'm asking for too much now. I'm just really excited.
They will give us maybe one of those answers.
I'll take 1.5. No deal.
I would do 1.5 to 200.
At least 1.5 would make me very happy. But who knows? I'm gonna love it either way. Even if they gave me like 0.5, if it's interesting, if it's fun, if it grips me, I'm good. But yeah, that is it. And there's still that is from. I'll ask you this one last question. I'm so sorry. Why do you think the title of the show is from?
I'm sure it's deeper than this. The entire time I have just assumed that every character is from somewhere else in the world, and I think the deeper thing to that is just why. Like we talked about at the very beginning of this episode, is like what connects them. I don't think it's necessarily where they're from. I think it is something extremely specific to all of these individual people, and I think the reason that they're all from different areas of the world is part of that reason. So I feel like a chicken with its head cut off.
I fully agree. Thank you, Blake, so much for chatting with me. This has been so much fun. Thank you for putting this on my radar. I'm so glad I watched it. I love it. Radar. I love it. I can't wait for more. I really hope that it just keeps gaining more viewers and kind of ramps up like we've seen other great shows do. And if you guys enjoyed this, we're actually doing 2 shows tonight. We'll be back tonight for a final girls' night with me and Sabrina. So, just like Stu, don't worry, because we'll be right back.
I'll be right back.